Here's another classic expression of narcissistic abuse. I'm destroying you financially. I spend too much money. I make bad investments. I don't pay our taxes on time. I knew one lady, she found out I was working with her. Her husband hadn't paid the taxes in 5 years. You know what the IRS does to people like that? They destroy them. He didn't have the courtesy to tell her, I'm not paying our taxes, because frankly, he didn't care. I lie about how I use money. You don't know this, but I'm not saving any money for our retirement. I run up huge debts without telling you. Some of these guys go from business to business to business, from job to job to job, because they can't get along with people. Don't bother working too hard to pay off my debts. You know what? Hey, isn't that what bankruptcy's for? I'll just run up more debts. Never stops. Or there's the guy that's the lazy slacker. I'm a lazy slacker. I don't like to work, and so I avoid it as much as I can. Again, job to job, long stretches of unemployment. You know what? I might get a steady job one day, but don't count on it. I'm so glad I had you to support me for the rest of my life. I know ladies who are killing themselves. I saw 2 this last week in my office. Actually, the last week of the year before I stopped, who had their own businesses, and they're married to guys who refuse to work. Oh my goodness. No, that's abuse. Oh, anger. Anger is often part of abuse. I have angry outbursts. My tolerance for frustration is quite low, and often, unpredictably, I blow up. If I'm having a bad day, you're going to have a bad day. I take my stress out on you. I raise my voice, I use profanity, I throw things, and I damage property. I fly into a rage over the smallest, most trivial things. After my outburst of rage, I act as though nothing happened, or I'll stay angry and cold for days. I don't think I have an anger problem, so I won't ever get help to fix it. The answer is just don't upset me. Never do anything that upsets me. Of course, that's impossible. I'm violent. Now, not every abuser is physically violent. Some are. When I get angry, I have to hit someone. Since you are the one who usually gets me angry, I hit you. I slap you, I punch you, I choke you, I pin you down, I throw you on the bed, and whatever else I feel like doing in my rage. I'm out of control at that point. But it's your fault for provoking me. It isn't my fault, it's your fault. Simply never provoke me and I won't hit you. Just so you know, I'm never going to stop hitting you. I say to clients, one time, count it, one time of any physical violence of any type is a serious situation. You leave that person and you leave immediately, as soon as you can. Get to a shelter, get to a family's house, get to a friend's home, take your kids. At that point, I've had some men that will actually make the changes, but if you don't leave after 1, there's going to be 2, there's going to be 3, and it will never stop. Why? Because you're taking it. That person needs serious help. Only way they're going to get it is if you leave. I'm an alcoholic. I love the drink and I'm not going to stop. Too bad. I might go to a few rehabs. I'm not stopping. Here's another one. I'm a drug abuser. Even though I'm an adult, I use harmful drugs. Want to live with someone like that and have the kids watch him use drugs and be aware of drug use? They're going to use drugs then. The drugs help me cope with stress. They give me a rush. If I don't use harmful drugs, illegal or legal, I am addicted to prescription drugs. Oh yeah, I'm ran across many guys like this, and even some ladies. My drugs are more important to me than God, you, our kids, and my career. I'll do the occasional rehab, but I'm not going to stop. I have sexual issues. Many abusers do. I need sex, a lot of sex, so I pressure you for it all the time. I force you to do sexual things you really don't want to do. But it isn't about you, it's about me and my pleasure. I don't want or need an emotional or physical connection with you. I just want sex. At times it will feel like rape to you, but don't tell me that. We're married. I don't care. You're not going to do anything about it, so whatever. Or I'm on the opposite side of sexual desire, I see a lot of this too, and refuse to be physically intimate with you. You ask for sex, you beg and plead and cry, but I reject you. I'm going to reject you sexually as long as you stay with me. Could be I'm a sexual sinner. Many abusers will fall into this category, and pornography is at epidemic levels anyway, in the church. I like porn, and I watch it whenever I can. It's so easy to access, and it's not hurting anyone, well, except for you, and I don't care about you. I have emotional affairs with coworkers, neighbors, and Facebook friends. At times, I may also have had physical affairs. Hey, I have sexual needs, and since you won't meet them, or you won't be good enough for me sexually, what choice do I have? Again, there's no empathy here. There's absolutely no conscience. Sociopathic. I'm going to continue to sinning sexually because it's fun for me. Since you know about my sexual sins and stay with me anyway, I guess you're okay with it. Like I care. And here's one of the classic hallmarks of the abuser. I blame you for everything. It's never my fault. Whenever there's tension or conflict in our relationship, it's your fault. Whenever I'm upset, and I'm upset a lot, it's your fault. I blame others too, but eventually I'll get around to blaming you. Our money problems are your fault. Our marriage problems are your fault. If our kids get into trouble, guess whose fault it is? Yours. If you are miserable and depressed, guess whose fault that is? Yours. It's always your fault. And it will always be your fault. Okay, abusers don't have warning labels. They should have them stamped on their dumb foreheads. They don't. And abusers don't talk this way that I've just talked. Of course they don't. If they did, no one would ever date or marry them. They're all about looking good. And saying these things out loud would not make them look good. But I know abusers, and this is what they think, and this is what they do. Abusers can be incredibly charming. They're wonderful in the dating phase of a relationship. They don't show their abusive traits until you've fallen in love with them. That could even happen during the dating phase. Once they've got your heart, they've got you. Once an abuser has your heart, the abuse begins. And there's a very good chance it will never stop. Now, I know you wonder, many of you wonder if am I in an abusive relationship or someone close to you is in an abusive relationship? You don't know how much more you can take. I'm here to tell you that you don't have to take it anymore, and I'm going to make it very clear. You're going to know if there's abuse or not. I'm going to tell you exactly what abuse looks like. I've just begun that in this first podcast. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do about the abuse. You don't have to stay with an abusive partner. You absolutely do not. God doesn't want you to. This person who has expressed love for you is acting in ways that are opposite of love. And the Bible's clear, explicit teaching to husbands and is acting in a way that is the opposite of love. Husbands, love your wives. Ephesians 5:25 teaches, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Also, Proverbs 31:28, Colossians 3:19, 1 Peter 3:7. It's time to take action against a sinful person like this. Plan A, or any plan up to now, has not worked. It's time for Plan B. Dr. Clark has Plan B. And I'm convinced I've seen God bless this Plan B over and over again. It really becomes his Plan A for your life.